I'm Julie Bartke with Session Update. The Senate began its work week by presenting its bonding bill, which comes in at $1.65 billion. $200 million of that is in cash from the general fund. It includes many provisions that the GOP does not consider important. Here's a portion of the Senate committee unveiling the bill and some Republican response that came immediately after that committee.
The amount that went into kind of a compilation of economic development projects was almost $500 million, and that includes housing and includes other economic development initiatives. I think all of us realized as we traveled that the businesses all over the state were eager to hire new workers, and it didn't matter if you were in the Northwest part of the state, or if you were in the Southwest, or if you were down here in the metropolitan area. We heard time and time again that businesses needed well-trained employees, and they needed, especially in certain parts of the state, but it was very true in rural areas, they needed places for these new employees to live. They had to have housing. And so those were areas that were limiting, I think, the growth of our economy in Minnesota, and that's why we put such a strong emphasis on housing to the tune of $80 million in this bill, which is really the largest amount of dollars going into housing that has ever been in the state's bonding history. The investments also, which is quite obvious in higher education, and the investments in transportation, we would have had even more investments in transportation funding, but many of you know that the target that we had before was about $60 million higher than the target we ended up with.
Bonding is debt, it's borrowing, and it's got to be repaid. So we must be smart about how we use that money. Projects should have a regional and statewide impact. It must positively impact the lives of every Minnesotan. Minnesota priorities, family priorities, are critical infrastructure items: roads, bridges, water systems, asset preservation. All of the extra things we have in the bonding bill that the Democrats put out, it's all nice stuff. But we got to talk about priorities, things that need to get done, and our priorities are roads, bridges, critical infrastructure items, and asset preservation.
What are the priorities of Minnesota? We've heard a lot about the need for more road and bridge funding throughout the state of Minnesota. We have a golden opportunity in front of us. So is this bonding bill going to be about fixing roads and bridges, or is it going to be about cherries on a spoon and snowmaking equipment? Or will it be about restoring the state capitol? Or rather, would it be about building theaters in Minnesota's largest cities? Will it be about repairing the current set of state government buildings properly, or building civic centers in three cities so that they can compete with each other? Will it be about bringing water to communities where the water supply dried up? Or will we build art centers and zoo exhibits?
You can view the Senate Capital Investment Committee and also the GOP news conference online at senate.mn/media.